Hello and welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host Jeff Cork, joined today by Javy Gwaltney.
Hi, Jeff Cork.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going well. How about you?
Very well. If you look over there, you know who I see.
Who?
It's Leo Vader.
Holy crap, Leo's here?
You spotted me.
Ta-da! What are we looking at here other than Leo Vader? Javy Gwaltney.
We are checking out Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Okay.
And this is the your sort of headquarters. Mm-hmm. It's not where you start the game, but it's the equivalent of the other two areas in Wolfenstein of like the ship in Wolfenstein 2 and the underground base in Wolfenstein 1.
Okay.
This game takes place in Paris, so we're in like the catacombs.
Okay.
The resistance there that's fighting against the Nazis that have taken over the city have set up base in the catacombs, and it's actually pretty big. I think it's a little bit bigger than the ship base in Wolfenstein 2.
That's not good, though, is it? Because you want to be able to go to where you need to go efficiently.
There aren't really storytelling moments, so it's not really any characters that you get to interact with in an emotional way, but there are a lot of quests that they give.
Okay.
So it's a lot of hashtag content.
Okay.
Like this person over here.
At any point, do they make reference to the fact there are walls that are made out of bones and skulls?
Probably.
Okay.
I imagine so.
And we're in the post game right now, right?
Yeah, this is the end game. We're gonna try and avoid spoilers, but again, this isn't a story heavy experience.
Okay.
The whole game?
Yeah, it's not really outside of the intro and the conclusion. It's not really that story heavy. So it shouldn't be too hard. But basically, the reason that we want to show the end game is this game has a surprisingly long tail after you finish the main game. It's kind of like The Division and Destiny in the sense that there's so much content to do that's barred until you finish the game, like missions and such. So we're going to go do one.
What are you working towards? Is there a loot system of any kind?
There are currencies and experience that you get by like new skills. There's a skill tree. So like your powers, for example, the ones that I've stuck with is a tackle that'll just turn enemies into like red slushy. You can go invisible. You can pocket those ridiculous machine guns that you find that are like massive.
Yes.
Like you have an ever expanding pocket, apparently. You have a secret weapon that we don't want to talk about right now.
Guybrush Threepwood style.
Yes.
Pockets.
Exactly. But then you have sort of typical buffs like, your armor can go up to like 175. You start with like 100 and you can just sort of do those buffs. You can throw your knives and hatchets harder to the point that they just kill enemies, like the toughest enemies in the game in one hit. You can become super powerful in this game. And it's satisfying. There's also cosmetics that you can buy that you can use your currency that you collect to buy with. You can't buy the currency in game. But there's currency, gold or silver coins that you find throughout the levels that you can just buy various skins, but also weapon upgrades. And there's like something ridiculous, like 150 upgrades.
Oh, wow.
Not for every weapon, for like collectively, and you can change how they look and stuff.
So there's just cosmetic differences between the sisters, right? They don't have like this one's got more armor.
Nope, there is absolutely no difference between Jess and Soph outside of personality and cosmetics.
That's interesting because like the previous Wolfensteins you've had a little bit of a character difference, right? Like in the first Wolfenstein, at least. Yeah,
like depending on which choice you make in the previous Wolfensteins, it would change. Like if you chose Wyatt or Fergus, another character would show up later in the game, and you have different gameplay mechanics. It wasn't earth-shattering stuff. It wasn't like Mass Effect level, like styled choices, but it would have effects on the gameplay. And here it's purely cosmetic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So another thing that's different about this Wolfenstein entry is that previous Wolfensteins were pretty much A to Z linear narrative shooters in the style of like Half-Life, where you go from one point to the other. And this one is more like Dishonored, which is fitting because it was co-developed by Arcane. So it's sort of like open world hubs that you jump from to like explore. It's really fun and interesting. It's not like a revolutionary design, outside of, this is Wolfenstein and it's trying new things, but it's really cool. And the world of this version of Paris is pretty cool. It's not as cool as like Karnaca or Dunwall, but again, for Wolfenstein, it's really neat.
So you think it's cool because it's been taken over by Nazis?
Yes, exactly. That's what
weird.
I said.
Very strange position.
Interesting, yeah.
Oh.
That's one of Jess's moves. It's basically just a Goomba stomp.
Yeah.
All right, let's kill some Nazis.
It's strange to hear, as a Wolfenstein outsider, it's strange to hear that this game is focusing on the combat, which all I heard about Wolfenstein 2 was, you put up with the combat because the story's so interesting. So does it make a case for spending this much time with Wolfenstein combat?
Yeah, I think so. Like, they make a lot of smart changes. We did a demo of this at E3, and it was the opening level, and it didn't do a great job of showing, how powerful you can become and stuff. Like, for example,
This is a viable tactic?
Yeah, you could just run up and smash that guy and stun him and throw hatchets at them. It's real fun.
And that's working?
Yeah, it's fun. Like, it takes off huge chunks of their health.
And that did it.
Yep.
So he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
The health bars are new.
Yeah, the
And
health
enemy
bars are
levels.
new. It's got a lot in common with looter shooters, but it still feels like Wolfenstein. Like, you're still like, after the first level, you power up super quickly and you just chew through bad guys pretty much, except for the bosses, and that takes like tactics. You have to work together with your partner or just use your AI partner's bait.
Can you issue commands to your AI partner to have them like, hey, go over here, cover me, follow me, that kind of stuff?
Not really. You can mark targets for them to attack, but that's about it. But what you can do, and this is a pretty neat little thing, is emotes in this game actually have stat buffs. So if I pull up the character sheet, you can go to pep signals is what they're called, and each one has a different effect. So the initial one that you get will give you and your sister, you can deploy it. It's on a cooldown timer, but when you do it, you give a thumbs up, and like you and your sister get 50 health each. But you have different emotes that give different effects. And the one that I have equipped right now gives me and so full health whenever I use it.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yeah. And it's just stuff like that. It's basically essentially like an extra life because you have 3 lives that you share together.
Looks like you're casting a little spell.
Yeah, no, it's basically just a spell. It's a buffy spell. Basically.
I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, and it works really well. Like when I first played with it, I just thought, oh, that's kind of a gimmicky thing. But later on in the boss fights, it can be a real like clutch moment.
Yeah.
Did you ever accidentally give a thumbs up to the boss and then he's back at full health?
Oh, no.
Every day of my life.
Or you give the okay sign and, oh, no.
Yeah.
Everyone's buffed.
Uh-oh.
But it's an interesting, like it still feels, like the action is still as hectic. Like the effects are still kind of gory and ridiculous and over the top. But the enemies require a little bit more thought, a little bit more tactics, it feels like, especially the bosses.
Which is funny because now that you're playing as like a fairly maxed out character, you're just getting in their faces and shooting them without any strategy or tactics.
Yep. I will say we're playing this on a gaming laptop, so the frame rate is not going to be
it's not the best. Let's do another one. But also the AI, if you play by yourself, like it's more fun if you play with someone else.
Yeah.
It's typical because Surreal and I played a couple of sessions and it was really fun playing with Surreal because he's just a funny guy. But the AI is like really what was I gonna say?
Good.
Pretty competent at reviving you and holding on their own. Like at one point we raided an apartment and I just stood back and watched as the AI like hunted Nazis in the entire apartment, going from floor to floor. Like they were just in Brazil hunting Nazis or something. It was really entertaining to watch. So they're surprisingly vicious.
Would you consider using that giant scope on that big scoped weapon?
What, this one?
No, the other one. It looks like a sniper, but you're firing it like a full auto machine
It's
gun.
weird because I don't know if there's a... I guess we can go into weapons upgrade and see if there's an attachment for the barrel or the ammunition to turn it into a sniper rifle.
I don't know what more it needs.
Yeah. Give me everything.
Because I don't think there is. Like, there's a suppressor and stuff. So it's still a machine gun, but you can just sort of, like, if you want to use it as a sniper rifle, you just have to do that. Which I wish there was like a bolt action, sort of upgrade where you could just turn it into a super powerful sniper rifle with reduced firing speed, I guess. But like even just looking around, like this definitely feels more like an arcane sort of like level design than necessarily like something Machine Games has done.
Sure.
You have to do a lot of vertical thinking. There's a double jump. Like for example, I could probably get up there to infiltrate that, but there's probably like 2 to 3 ways to like get into, every building.
Okay.
So that's kind of neat, especially for a series that's pretty much been, get from A to Z.
Right.
Yeah.
And is the stealth pretty much in choreographed sequences, or is it something you can employ for a lot of situations?
You can employ it for a lot of situations with the cloaking tech. Actually, let me pull that up real quick just to see like the various levels. The first ones you just turn invisible for a little bit at a time. Then you get longer. You don't have to stay crouched. And when you stay stationary, the cloak energy, sort of charges. So there's a lot you can do there. Like you can just sneak up on Nazis and take them out one by one from the shadows. It's real satisfying. You can't go through the whole game like that, kind of like Wolfenstein. Like you do have to break out and go loud occasionally, but you can do a lot of work in taking out like half of squadrons or even 3/4 of squadrons before the Nazis realize what's up. So it's kind of fun. But for boss fights, you can't really sort of stealth. You can't do the Deus Ex thing of like, oh, I can play any way that I want.
Can't talk them out of fighting.
Yeah, you can't talk them out of fighting. You can't seduce them, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But, there's a big guy over there. These are typically some of the harder mini-bosses.
That's a 4 hatchet job.
But another thing that Wolfenstein or Youngblood does a little bit different is there are ammo and armor types that haven't been before. So if you see in the lower right corner, that's an explosive type. This is, shells. We have heavy ammo here and then sort of light ammo. And so different kinds of ammo will work better on different kinds of enemies. Like these guys respond better to energy weapons and heavy ammo than like, shotgun shells. It's going to take like probably 3, maximum capacity shotgun rounds for me to take that guy down. Like I'd have to chew through like 200 shells or something.
Is he healing back up super fast?
No, he's not. It's just he.
Is he interested in you at all?
Yeah, he's trying to.
Okay.
Yeah, he's taking on Soph. I really like also just sort of the idea that like you're getting a buff from paying each other compliments and sort of
It's a good message.
being nice to each other while just brutally slaughtering things around you.
Yeah. Congrats on receiving a pep.
All right, let's go ahead and take this guy out.
Oh. Wrong way.
There we go. And this one's a big shocky weapon. That's the name of it.
Did his hat fall off?
His hat did fall off.
Nice.
All right, he's about dead. Once it gets to the red bar after those white bars, pretty much any weapon will work on them, whittling it down. Oh, no.
Oh, no, JV. Come on, buddy.
Soph, help me.
So,
Soph. The accents are pretty bad. I enjoy that.
okay.
Yeah. Traditional, awful Southern accents.
Oh, no. Is that a tough burden for you to carry?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, JV.
Yeah, I have to deal with it every day, especially working with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very rude about it.
Yeah, we won't let you
Howdy,
forget.
JV.
Yep, that's what we say.
Oh,
And then we high five each other.
I hadn't done that before. That looks rough.
You blew his skin off.
Yeah.
So you're done with what story content there is in this game.
Yeah, and it takes about 10 hours to
Okay.
get through that story content, but there's a bunch of live service aspects to the game as opposed there are like quests that pop up where it's like, oh, go rescue this person over here, and there are like post-game story quests that aren't just like sort of chores, or not even chores, but little tasks to go do like that one was. Like it's actual post-game story stuff of like, hey, we need you to go steal some plans for this, and there are like cutscenes and stuff for those sorts of things.
How often do they repeat content for that? Like, have you been in this level before?
I mean, those tasks, that task that I do, that's just like a randomly occurring thing. And there's like 6 or 7 of those, so not fairly often, but you will see repeats of like, oh, go rescue the civilian, go kill this particular operative. But like the actual post-game missions are sort of just their separate thing. Like they're unique instances, if that makes sense.
Okay, so they're not infinite.
Yeah, they're not infinite. Like
Gotcha.
they're infinite. They're like those tasks are infinite, but those post-game stuff, the post-game missions are not.
Right.
But also their daily challenges, like here. It makes me wonder if they're sort of ramping this up to like do the Destiny thing and just like sort of like do dollops of content, because like the past couple of Wolfensteins, they've got expansion packs that weren't particularly great. The Old Blood was fine, but like the expansion packs for the new Colossus kind of sucked. But it feels like this is they're implementing a live service model almost to just sort of like inject, new quests and stuff into this open world setup. But let's find Abby.
Call me old-fashioned, but I want to kill the Nazis. I don't want them to be around forever so I can do endless content. I want to put a stop to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Thank you. Again, you may call me old-fashioned.
Yes. But, stuff like this, too, where you can go and do daily challenges or weekly challenges to just get rewards. So, like, extra experience and currency to get new weapons or to get weapon upgrades and cosmetics and stuff. And it's stuff like, get this many headshots with this submachine gun or kill this particular target who's usually, like, super hard.
So as someone who's a huge fan of this series, is that enticing to you at all?
Yeah. I mean, as someone who really enjoys like how the gunplay feels, I was kind of surprised like how much I walked away from really loving this game.
Yeah, your preview was, you were a little worried about it.
Yeah, at E3, they gave us a not great preview of like the first level. It was just a really bad demo that didn't showcase like what the game could be. Like, it was just an uphill battle against a bunch of spongy enemies where you had access to no abilities whatsoever.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's not what this game is.
right.
And you level up really fast. Like, this isn't a grindy experience. Like, I had Suriel play with me yesterday for maybe 2 or 3 hours. And within the first hour, he had gone from, like, level 4 to level 20.
Level 20 boss.
You just go up really fast, and we weren't like fighting particularly hard enemies.
Yeah.
He just leveled up quickly. So it doesn't feel necessarily like it's got the bits of RPG shooter hybrids that I like without all the grinding that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So I'm really into it. And also another thing I like about it is that it's just a pretty good if you were one of those people who really liked Halo back in the day of like co-op, sort of like, hey, I just want to run through a campaign with a buddy, just in a day or two, like this is a good game for that. It feels like that's a pretty good, follow-up to that sort of experience if you missed out on that.
Yeah, that sounds enticing.
Yeah.
If I may ask one final question, JB.
Yes.
6 months from now,
Uh-huh.
you, Wolfenstein fan number 1.
Yeah.
You haven't played Wolfenstein in a while. You say, I'm in the mood for Wolfenstein. Do you come back to this?
Yeah. This will be the one that I play if like I just want to hop in and play it as opposed to like also never mind. But as opposed to like, hey, I really want to experience the new Colossus' story or something. But if it's just like I want to kill some Nazis, it'll be this game. Just to like hop back in and do some of the challenges and see like what they've added in the game since.
Cool.
Also, part of the Dishonored, I didn't get to this earlier, but part of the Dishonored, lineage is like with Arcane doing this, there's a lot of secret areas filled with stuff that you can find if you're looking around, like sort of just locked doors that you can't access until you get weapons, or like, apartment buildings that you have to sort of double jump into and look around that have like crates filled with concept art and currency and stuff.
Bikes.
Yes, bikes, locked up bikes. He did a really, decent job of trying to hide that bike from the Nazis.
Yeah.
But now you've exposed it to them.
Yeah, and that Panzerhund is going to eat it. But hello there. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good look at Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Is this a full price or $40?
This is only, it depends. There's a $29.99 is the bare bones essential, you can play through the game. But if you get the deluxe edition, there's a neat little thing where you get it's $10 more. You get a copy of the game that you can give to a friend. But the catch is they can only play it when you play it. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they don't get a copy of the game they can play in their own time, but when you're playing, you can invite them to play with you, and they can basically play through the entire game with you for free.
Online split screen.
And then you can give that copy to someone else down the road. So, like, you can just take that copy back.
Oh.
So it's a neat system. I'm curious to see how it plays in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's Wolfenstein Youngblood's Endgame.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Javy.
Yeah.
And thanks for asking so many good, smart questions, Leo.
Thanks for listening.
Absolutely. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you for watching New Gameplay today. It's our pleasure to bring you fun, unscripted looks at the game releases of the week and beyond. Subscribe on YouTube to get them delivered to your feed at no cost. New Gameplay today. It's for casual friends.